What is up, and welcome back to Viral Ed, where we create the best educational content on the planet. Don't forget to share our videos on social media, whether that be Facebook or YouTube, and most importantly, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn that notification bell on. Without further ado, let's jump right into this episode on how to solve quadratic equations. In this video, we will be diving deeper into the algebraic world, and we'll use some already discussed strategies in the last video. For example, expanding, collecting like terms, and inverse operations. So if you need a refresher or don't understand what those are, a video will be linked in the description below, so go check it out. So when looking at quadratic equations, there are two main methods to solve for x. We have factorising and quadratic formula. Let's look at factorising first. There are four main steps to factorising to solve for x. The first is identifying a, which as you can see is the number in front of x at the front of the equation. The second step is identifying the multiple of c, and again you can see this being circled and is the number at the end of the equation, just before the equal sign. Third step is factorise, and the last step is solve for x. So let's look at an example. X to the power of 2 minus 2x, take 8. So the first step is identifying the coefficient of a. As x doesn't have a number in front, we can determine that this number is 1. We then multiply this with the value of c, which is negative 8, to get its true value. In this case, 1 times negative 8 equals negative 8. The second step is identifying the multiple of c, and in this case, the value of c is negative 8. This means we need to find a multiple of negative 8 that when added together equals the b value, which is positive 2. So all the multiples of c are listed on the right. We have negative 8 times 1, negative 1 times 8, 2 times negative 4, and 4 times negative 2. All these, when times together, equal negative 8. However, we now need to find the one that equals the value of b, which is positive 2. We will look at the table on the left. The only values when added together equal 2 are 4 plus negative 2. The third step is factorise. We now simplify the equation into bracket x plus 4 bracket, bracket x minus 2 bracket. The fourth step is solving for x. Let's look at the first bracket. We determine that x plus 4 equals 0. Therefore, we can use inverse operations to isolate the unknown value x. By subtracting 4 from each side, we are left with x equals negative 4. We do the same with the other bracket and get x equals 2. Therefore, x equals negative 4 and x equals 2. But what does this exactly mean? Well, these values we have established show us the x-intercept on a graph. So if you graph the equation x to the power of 2 minus 2x minus 8, the lines would intercept on the x-axis at negative 4 and 2. Okay, let's do a harder example. 12x to the power of 2 minus 20x plus 3. Step 1 is identifying the coefficient of a, which is 12, and multiplying it with the value of c to determine its value, which is 36. Step 2, we identify the multiple of c, but it has to equal the value of b when added together. So like before, you can write out all the multiples of 36 and then find the two that when added together equal negative 20. In this case, the multiples are negative 18 and negative 2. As when added together, they equal negative 20, which is the b value, and when times together, they equal 36, which is the c value. Step 3, factorise. Let's look at the first part. 12x to the power of 2 minus 18x. We need to take out common factors. The common factor in this part of the equation is 6x. This leaves us with 6x bracket 2x minus 3 bracket. Now we look at the second part of the equation, negative 2x plus 3. Again, we find the common factor, which is negative 1, which leaves us with negative 1 bracket 2x minus 3 bracket. The reason we take negative 1 and not positive 1 is that we want the values in the bracket to equal in both parts of the equation, as you can see. This means when we rewrite the equation to solve x, we have bracket 6x minus 1 bracket, bracket 2x minus 3 bracket. If you expanded these brackets, you would get the equation we originally started with. Now, to solve for x, we do the same as the other equation. We use inverse operations to isolate x, and this leaves us with x equals 1 over 6, and x equals 3 over 2. Hopefully this has helped you. If you're still a little bit confused, don't worry. Learning quadratic equations takes time and practice. But as long as you remember the 4 steps, you will slowly begin to solve any quadratic equation no matter how difficult it looks on paper. Let's look at the other method for solving quadratic equations, which is the quadratic formula. The quadratic formula is as seen below. To find x, we work from left to right. So for the a value, we put the value 12. For b, we put the value -20, and for c, we put the value 3. The end result should read -20 plus or minus square root -20 to the power of 2 minus 4 times 12 times 3, all divided by 12 times 2. If we collect all the common terms and use BODMAS, we will simplify everything down to x equals 20 plus or minus 16 divided by 24. So now we can split the two x values, and as you see, x equals 1 over 6 and x equals 3 over 2. Exactly the same as if we used the other method. I hope this video helped you understand quadratic equations and how to solve them either through factorizing or the quadratic formula. If you have any questions about the video, leave a comment below and I'll try and get back to everyone as quick as possible. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We here at Viral Ed hope to see you next time. And until then, don't forget, Viral Ed is the best channel for educational content on the planet.